In the summer of 2017, a small group of friends met at a party and somehow hatched a plan to go on a sailing holiday to Turkey in 2018. Soon this plan came together, and before we knew it, we were on our way. This is our story.
I tell you what, I flipping left Bristol Airport at the moment.
Cheers everyone. We arrived in Fethiye late on Saturday the 16th of June, and after a quick cuppa we went to bed and woke to this. Our boat, Malaya, was a Jeanneau 419, 42 feet of shiny loveliness. After our handover we decided to shop for provisions and explore Fethiye a little before enjoying a hammam in the old quarter of the town. You will have noticed already that there are only 4 of us in this video. Originally there were 6, but after an unfortunate accident our friends Glyn and Mandy had to pull out at the last minute. This was a devastating blow to us all, not least Glyn, who was in a hospital bed. There was a bit of talk about cancelling the whole trip by those of us left who could still walk, so in a show of unparalleled loyalty, yeah, you guessed it, we went anyway. Let's see that again, shall we, Jerry? Louise takes up the story.
We spent our first day acclimatising and spent a rather lush 4 hours in the hammam, which means we de-sloughed and all our dead skin exfoliated, ready to tan like hide.
That certainly conjures up some images. Thanks, Lou. That evening we dined at one of the many harbourside restaurants before going back to Malaya and bed to dream of our adventures to come. Monday dawned and we all woke early to the Turkish sun already warming our backs. We raided the boat and after briefing we set sail. Unfortunately, so excited we forgot to set the camera. But as we left Fethiye and headed for the northern side of the Gulf, sails were set, and in the gentle breeze we headed for distant shores. After an all too brief sail, we ventured through a beautiful narrow strait into another world. Skopje Limani is a stretch of water about 5 miles long and no more than 2 miles wide, protected on all sides by half a dozen or so small islands. All around are coves and safe anchorages, and almost every cove lies a restaurant. Even though sometimes no more than a mile between them, each one is unique with its own character, menu and spectacular scenery. Many of them have installed jetties for us yachties. Some old and rickety, others brand new, yet every one beautiful. We bimbled around for a while, nosing into a few bays, before discovering Sarsala Koyu. We decided, since they have a long jetty, which at that time wasn't very busy, to moor there. A helpful man patiently guided us in. Stern to is the preferred method of mooring in the Med, and here is no exception. Whilst Leslie and I went on an expedition in the dinghy to explore a few coves, our outboard motor failed and I had to row back to Malaya. So to fix the engine, we made a plan to return to the marina in Fethiye the following day. We rose early and slipped our mooring for a wonderfully chilled sail back to Fethiye. The conditions were perfect. This was better than we could have ever imagined. As the morning progressed, ominous clouds filled the sky. It looked like we were in for some rain. As it turned out, our plan couldn't have been better. As we got back to Fethiye, the heavens opened. Thunder and lightning didn't seem to matter though when we were in the marina bar with cold beers and meze. After another wonderful evening of Turkish hospitality, we ran, as some might say staggered, back to Malaya, not even trying to dodge the last of the rain. It didn't seem to matter. And as we went to our beds, we already knew that tomorrow would be wonderful.
I cannot lie that yesterday was rather disappointing with so much rain and dark skies, but this morning we woke to turkey skies and brilliant sunshine.
How's it carry on, number one? All fine and dandy.
And this is paradise. Turquoise water, great scenery with wooded hillsides and a tiny harbour restaurant. We were welcomed by Mehmet, who helped us berth and then showed us our table for tonight's dinner overlooking the bay.
Well, here we are in sunny, where are we, peeps?
Happy Creek.
We're downtown Happy Creek.
Happy
Creek. Oh, Happy Creek. Well, that's quite what we've got here. And now the wilderness uncle's turned up, but we reserved our table first thing this morning, so how's that? Just having a nice cup of tea, wait for the sun to go down, and it's happy time.
Being a democratic bunch, a majority of us had concluded that we were in fact in Happy Creek, and that it was as perfect a place as we had seen. This must be one of the few places on earth where the shops come to you, and what a shop! How they put so much in their boat is a mystery.
We spent the afternoon swimming, sleeping, watching people come and go. It's so perfect here, we're going to stay for a couple of days.
dinner overlooking the bay. What a hardship. Octopus for the peas, which was lush, had a bite. Lamb and chicken for us. Another pissed Mr. J. Mrs. J, not a happy bunny. Loud Russians next to us, so hard to get to sleep other than Mr. J, who was in a drunken haze.
Little bit of an update at 10:15 p.m. It's official. Mr. P is annoying, according to an incredibly pissed Jerry. We just had a lovely meal with fresh sea bass and mezes and wine and coffee. Time for bed now. Can't wait for the adventures tomorrow will bring. Further update. We just heard Louise sing, "Jerry! Jerry, put your clothes on. That is not appropriate." God knows what he was doing.
We spent our second day here much like the first, a cycle of sunbathing and cooling off in the water, playing in the tender and enjoying each other's company. Leslie and I went for a walk in the afternoon to explore and found that the hill behind was in fact an isthmus. Try saying that without your teeth in. An isthmus is a narrow piece of land connecting two larger areas across an expanse of water by which they are otherwise separate. Entertainment and education. Who'd have thought? Thank you, Wikipedia. Friday dawned bright and clear and we slipped our moorings, with Leslie to untie the bow line and Jerry and I at the stern with the engine in neutral. The general plan is to let go of the leeward stern line, then the windward, but with no wind it made no difference. As the stern lines are let go, the boat is pulled forward under the weight of the bow line. As soon as it's slack, she unties it and throws the heavy line as far as possible and watches it sink. When it's clear, she calls to the helm, and now it's safe to engage forward gear and pull away far enough to clear any of the lines on neighbouring boats. Simple. Before we left, we decided that Wall Bay would be our next destination, but being only 2.4 nautical miles away, 20 minutes sailing at best, we decided, with a gentle breeze picking up, to spend 2 or 3 hours exploring Skopje Limanı and its coves. What better time for some instruction? Jerry's a natural. I've sailed with people who purport to be experienced, who understand much less than he does. He has an uncanny ability and feeling for the boat. He keeps his eye on what is around him and has natural seamanship. And the best thing, he enjoys it. So under his guidance, Louise took the helm for most of the morning, and I'm pleased to say she loved it. With the wind freshening, we decided it was time to tie up, so we headed into Wall Bay. What a place! Brand new pontoons to moor alongside, and very plush bar and restaurant. Could this be even better than Cappy Creek? Better? No, just different. After exploring, we had a drink at the bar and booked our table for dinner that evening. As the afternoon progressed, the wind picked up. The weather forecast did not look good, so it wasn't a particularly disappointing decision to stay an extra day to avoid the bad weather. Far better to be sitting at the bar wishing we were out there than out there wishing we were in here. We had high hopes for dinner, given that this place was so upmarket, but although the food was perfectly reasonable, it could have been much better. Over dinner, Leslie and I planned the next day. We were going to teach Jerry and Louise to snorkel.
Today Jerry and I popped our snorkelling cherry, and Leslie says I'm a snort monster. Motoring out to Room Bay in the dinghy, we were shown the ways of the mask and snorkel. It is just fabulous seeing what's under the water without drowning. At the same time we spotted a turtle. The ruins made us wonder what was originally there and what for. Now wet and happy and first beer at 5:30. We know Nigel negotiates a good deal on a slow-baked lamb for dinner, with the owner so salivating at the thought. Roll on more snorkelling.
Today's snorkelling has been up there with the best I've done. The water's so clear, you can see forever, and I've seen the best fish life today that I've ever seen in Turkey. I'm so glad Louise and Jerry have taken to snorkelling so quickly. Really feeling the benefit on this holiday of my weight loss and improved fitness. Sitting here in the sun with an ice cold beer, listening to Café Del Mar in a beautiful location. Does life get any better than this? Be perfect if my wonderful family were here too. Oh, I saw a wild tortoise today.
Sunrise on Sunday the 24th of June, where Jerry and I have got up early and we are en route now across the Gulf of Fethiye to Coldwater Bay. Should be there about 9 o'clock. Looking lovely, absolutely beautiful. Look at this sunrise. After arriving at Coldwater Bay, we anchored and took 2 lines ashore, only to be told that we had to move as the tourist boats would be arriving shortly. Tourist boats? This should be fun. Let me check the pilot book. Ah yes, now I see.
It wasn't their fault, it was his fault.
All the anchorages around here are very busy with boat trips and boats selling overpriced ice cream, bread and pastries. We repositioned the boat, twice as it happens, and went for a swim. Oh, that's why they call it Coldwater Bay.
Oh, he's got away with it.
By 10:30, the tourist boats started to arrive. Each one would stay for half an hour or so before leaving. By mid-afternoon, they were queuing to get in. The noise and music was loud, but everyone seemed to have fun. By late afternoon the tourists had gone, and once again Coldwater Bay returned to its normal, natural, peaceful state. We took the tender ashore and climbed a hill to Ali's alfresco restaurant. The food was of mixed quality. Jerry and Louise liked theirs, whereas I was served shoe leather purporting to be squid. For some reason, Coldwater Bay is firmly on the itinerary for cruising yachtsmen. It's pretty, but very noisy till evening, and the food was average. Would I go there again? Probably not. Needless to say, we decided to forego breakfast at Ali's, and decided instead to sail to Göcek. We slipped our shorelines and weighed anchor, and were off for another glorious day's sailing. As we approached Göcek, we could see that it was quite busy, and lots of boats were lying at anchor. I called the municipal marina several times but got no reply. Eventually I put a general call out, just to check we were actually transmitting, and a little voice came back from Skopje Marina offering us a berth. And once again, with good planning and now expert help, we berthed stern to. Skopje isn't just a yacht marina, by the way, it's a mega yacht marina. And I don't mean a mega yacht marina, but a marina for mega yachts, and they were there in spades. I spoke to a guy who was a member of crew from a yacht called Galaxy, a monster at a mere 56 metres. That's metres, not feet. And he told me she's available for charter if anybody's interested, at a mere €40,000 per day. The girls went shopping that afternoon and returned empty-handed, whilst the poor guy tailed them pushing a shopping trolley. Now that's what I call service. We spent the rest of the afternoon at the marina pool, luxuriating in the fullness of it all. That evening we dined at a restaurant on a pontoon over the water and ate ice cream while strolling along the harbour. I like Göcek. Here we are, it's Tuesday already. This holiday is just going too fast. We wake to a scorching sunny day and have breakfast at the Marina Club, then wander round town to buy gifts to take home. We get back to Malaya and make ready. We cast our lines at about 12 o'clock. With Jerry sailing for much of the time, the wind was perfect, 10 knots from southwest, which gave us about 3 hours of sailing around Skopje Limanı before mooring stern to at Boynuzbuku. With perhaps the exception of Coldwater Bay, every stop has been amazing, and this place doesn't disappoint. The water is fairly shallow with a muddy bottom, so no good for snorkelling, but great if you're at anchor. We walk down a tea jetty into a beautiful lawned garden with shady trees and hibiscus flowers. Best of all, the open air bar is open, so we sit and drink a beer whilst admiring the place. Whilst we're sat in the garden, a 50-foot yacht berths next to us. So when we finish, we saunter back and speak to the skipper. Poor man has only got a couple of days sailing experience and he's just frightened himself witless. He went to Ekinçik, which is about 20 nautical miles to the north, and on board were his wife, children and nanny. He got caught out very close inshore by some waves rebounding off cliffs. He almost lost control of the boat. If only he had planned carefully and read the pilot book, which warns of this and advises to stand off a few miles. He didn't and nearly came a cropper. On the plus side, he showed us his boat, a Bavaria 51 cruiser. Perfect for next year. Yippee! Wednesday morning, and we woke up once again to another lovely day. After breakfast at Boynuzbuku, we decided to return to Wall Bay, as Jerry and Louise especially wanted to do some more snorkelling. We spent a wonderful hour or so cruising around the islands before mooring once again alongside that lovely jetty. As it happens, no one did any snorkeling as we spent the afternoon lounging on the beach. I keep saying it, and I make no apology for repeating myself, but this area is jaw-droppingly beautiful, and Toon Bay is no exception.
I don't want to go home, it's just too bloody lovely.
Having left Wall Bay, we sailed the mile or two along the coast into Toon Bay, so called because of all the ancient rock tombs cut into the cliffs.
I reckon this could be the prettiest.
No, they're all
Don't
pretty.
you? Look at it. Look at how it's very,
It's
very
in a bay
pretty.
with water, sun shining, and it's got a bar.
Yeah.
That ticks
Smells
almost-
Don't want to
Well,
interrupt, but watch that boat that's reversing.
Ooh, it's getting close there. Look, he's going to hit that boat. Oh!
Shall we see that again?
Ooh, it's getting close there. Look, he's going to hit that boat. Oh!
Just hit the next boat to it.
Yes, he has. Rather hard too.
So after a couple of cold runs, it's back to the boat for some well-deserved rest after such a hard morning. A little later, Jerry and Lou take the tender to do some exploring, whilst Les and I mess around in and around the boat. As Toad said to Ratty, "If you believe me, my young friend, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, half so worth doing as simply messing around in boats." Friday, our last sailing day of the holiday. After breakfast, we make ready to leave. Jerry was at the helm for the whole trip. He's a natural. Well done. But it was with very heavy hearts that we had to leave and return to Fethiye. But as Jerry said, the holiday isn't over yet. He sails us back across the Gulf, arriving at Marina, Fethiye before the rush of returning charter boats. We fill up with fuel and pump out all the nasties and tie up in our berth.
And over there is Fethiye. And our illustrious skipper, Mr. J. Jones, Esquire, Captain Jones.
That night we dress up and eat our last dinner out at Megri restaurant in the vibrant old quarter of the town. Afterwards we stroll the town, enjoying the sounds and smells of this wonderful and very Turkish place. All too soon Saturday dawned and brought with it our final day. Breakfast was cleared early, and we were descended upon by an army of cleaners and men with clipboards, and all too soon we had to leave our wonderful boat, which had been our home for the past 2 weeks. Even the Marina cat came to say goodbye. We decamped to the hotel next door and lay next to their pool. But after the last 2 weeks, I find it very difficult to do nothing for the day, and I become restless very quickly.
This is total hell. Just look around me. How much worse could it get?
Yeah.
Overlooking all the beautiful boats in the marina, green, and the pool is crystal clear. Just cool enough to feel the benefit, but not cool enough to make you go. It's just heaven. And I suppose we have to go home.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
We have, of course, already planned our 2019 adventure. Earlier, we even gave a clue as to the boat we should charter. We're all a bit down in the dumps to be leaving, but like someone once told me, unless you leave, you can't come back. That's it, my first video. It might be a bit long, and I know that there are some mistakes and some erroneous timestamps on a couple of the clips. But thanks for watching, and I hope I get used to saying, if you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Cheers now.